Okay, I think we are live. So thank you so much, Charlene, for being on our Facebook Live today. I know you're going to offer so much value, and so many people are so excited to hear your story. So for those of you who are watching, make sure you drop in the chat because we have a very, very important topic today and a wonderful, wonderful story. So before I get Charlene back on stage again, so drop in the chat where you're watching from because we're so excited to talk to you today about increasing your GLP naturally with activation science. So if you have heard of GLP before, let me know in the chat. And so, whether you want to lose a few kilos or simply make smarter food choices, the MindBody GLP-1 system is here to support you at every step. But it's not a get quick fix scheme, right? It's a way to work with your body, not against it. And so to experience the benefits when resetting your gut and rebalancing GLP-1 and hunger hormones for optimal levels, today you're going to learn about it and also to hear Charlene's story. So, how would you like to turn down the food noise, to quiet your cravings and hush the hunger? And so, we're going to talk to you about the mind body system. It's a weight loss management system that is launching in Australia and New Zealand and also in Europe and part of Asia. So let me get back on stage our guest today, Miss Charlene Graham, all the way from United Kingdom. And so we are so excited to be able to hear your journey, Charlene. And so maybe we can start by you introducing yourself to everybody.
Hi everyone, my name's Charlene. I'm 40 years old and I currently live in the Edinburgh area of Scotland, United Kingdom. So I have been on the GLP-1 activation journey since the 1st of November and it's going fabulous for me. To date, it says on the title that I've shed 36 pounds, but I weighed in this morning and I've actually lost another pound and a half. So I am absolutely ecstatic that this is the case. So that's enough for me. Back to you, Josie.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I have been muted and I've been talking to myself. So, Charlene, I just wanted to ask you, how long have you been wanting to lose weight or have you been on a diet and what was it like?
I've been on lots of diets. I have had weight as a challenge since I was 6 years old. I have done all sorts of different diets, yo-yo diets. I managed to lose a lot of weight in 2014 doing a calorie deficit diet plan. Unfortunately, because the calorie deficit was far too low, I then piled the weight back on again. And since then, it has been a constant challenge to actually go down in the numbers, be it on the scales or the inches.
So, you actually mentioned to me that after you lost weight in 2015, you had to have surgery for gallbladder.
Yeah, so in 2014, I lost a lot of weight. I went from a size 24 down to a 14. And it was early 2016. I had to have my gallbladder removed because I ended up with lots of gallstones and they were in my gallbladder, overspilling the gallbladder and going into the liver also.
Right. Yeah. So I heard that sometimes, when you lose weight with all these diets, that it could have an impact, just like what you had. So,
Exactly.
So I just want to hear from you. As somebody who has been carrying weight for a very long time, years and years, how has that impacted the way you move? Like physically, I guess, emotionally, can you walk us through some of those challenges that you may have had?
Yeah, so when you're carrying a lot of weight, you walk differently. Um, I call it the waddle because you wobble from side to side when you're really heavy. And when you start to lose weight, you actually feel a stride coming back and you actually feel yourself starting to walk properly, heel to toe. So that there is a big change in how your body moves around. When you're losing weight, you start to do things with your body that you didn't actually realize that you could before. And the emotional side of it is showing me a lot of challenges at the moment that I will find a way to work through because of the determination that I have within myself. So the emotions are when you've got food as a crutch for emotional support, when you take the food away, because with this journey you don't really get hungry very often, what is your new emotional crutch? So that's what I'm working through at the moment.
Right. Okay. So way back then, do you go through binge eating? I mean, what are the
Yes,
crutch
yes,
that you? Yeah.
binge eating was my crutch. I mean, food is everything. We talk about it. We talk about preparing it. We sit down and watch a movie for comfort, to feel good. For me, it's romantic comedies. In the UK, I would have a bag of Maltesers, a bag of minstrels, some crisps, some fizzy juice. I don't have that anymore. So when you're sitting down and you're watching the TV for some emotional comfort, then you've no longer got this food. So then I've noticed that I then pick up my cell phone, my device, I start playing on it for a bit of distraction, and then I end up missing half of the movie because I end up engrossed in my phone. But it's changes like these that we then have to incorporate into our new day-to-day life. And as much as it's a struggle and it's difficult, the way I see it is anything that is easy is not worth it. And I know that this is worth it.
Right. So can you tell us how were you introduced to activation? How did you learn about it? And what has inspired you to start using or taking the mind body system?
I was introduced to activation by a lady in my area with the name of Susan Douglas. She introduced me to Nerf 2, and I was inspired to take the MindBody by watching the consultants in the US when they were doing the pre-launch and what they were saying about the product. When you're someone like me and you binge eat for comfort, for someone to actually say to you that you've followed and they work for a company that you know and trust, and they're telling you on social media that you can get rid of food noise. For a binge eater, that's huge. For a binge eater, most people will be like, no, I don't believe you. But I tell you now, it's true. It happens. It works. And when the food noise goes away, so I still have biscuits. Biscuits are my kryptonite. And one of the problems with me would always be if I was having a cup of tea, I could eat a full packet of biscuits. And now I still have biscuits, but I have two with a cup of tea. So, and being able to do that, being able to just eat two biscuits with a cup of tea is phenomenal.
Yeah. So it's really changed your eating habits. So can you tell
Absolutely, yeah.
us, right? Okay. So can you tell us when you started taking the mind body, at what stage, like maybe how many weeks have you noticed the food noise, when the food noise has kind of dissipated?
I think it was 2 weeks for me. because I went from eating high amounts of sugar, and I mean stupendous amounts of sugar, down to zero. I went completely cold turkey when I first started GLP-1. And that was my choice. You don't have to do it that way, but that was purely my choice. And coming off it, you get the symptoms that you get when you come off sugar. So then the week after that, once my body was free of having lots of sugar, I started to notice it go away. Because one of the things that a lot of people don't realise is when you're on some sort of new regime when you're eating, and a lot of people think that when they're hungry, they have to go and eat something when they feel a hunger pang. But technically, you're just thirsty.
As you're eating, go ahead.
So you just, when you're thirsty and you think you're hungry, you drink more water, because you need to be drinking at least 2 litres of water a day when you're changing what you're doing to ensure that you're getting your right fluid consumption. So your eating habits change, your choices change. I felt lighter, I felt freer from the need and the urge and the want to have these things in my life.
Right. So what about your eating habits? You know, what has changed? Do you eat better? What
I eat a lot
kind of
better.
food do you eat now? Mm-hmm.
So I tend to stick to the high protein, but I do still have small amounts of sugar in my diet, but it's very, very minimal. So in the morning, I have 2 eggs for breakfast with some cold meat, usually roast beef. I don't have lunch, but that is personal choice. And it has been said to me that I should maybe have a small lunch, so I'm looking to incorporate that. Then in the evening, I'll have some form of protein meal, and it'll either be steak or lamb or chicken, along with, in Scotland, we call it neeps and carrots, but it's actually turnip and carrots. So, yeah, so that's what I would have for my evening meal. Snacks would be some sort of fruit bar or biscuits.
Right. But
And
you're not eating the packet of biscuits anymore.
I'm not eating a full packet. A full packet can last me a week and a half.
Wow, and before, was it 1 packet a day?
You're talking a packet of biscuits with a cup of tea. Then in the evening, after an evening meal, because I would always have greasy food back then, and greasy food would always make me feel that I had to have something sugary. So it would be a bar of chocolate or an ice cream. Ice cream was my go-to before I started on this journey.
Wow.
And
Wow.
ice cream doesn't even faze me anymore, which is huge for me, because
Wow.
ice cream was always my thing.
So when was the last time you had an ice cream? Do you remember?
October. It was.
Oh, wow, that is
It was the last day of October, so it was Halloween,
wonderful.
and
That is so good.
because I knew I was starting on this regime, it was
Right.
7:30 at night, and I said to my husband,
Oh.
we have to go to the furthest away town in Edinburgh, which from me it is Musselburgh, and they sell this amazing ice cream that they make in the shop. So
wow.
I had to go and get my favourite strawberry ice cream from there before I started, and that was the last ice cream I had.
And so you don't desire it anymore?
No. And this is the strangest thing. So even though that was my kryptonite, it doesn't bother me at all. And one of the other really big things that I've really noticed with this, when you're out somewhere and you're maybe mildly hungry and you smell food, you instantly say, "Oh, I want that. Oh, I need that. I need to get that." I was at a fun fair place couple of weeks back, and we went in and they had hot, fresh donuts. Everyone knows what hot, fresh donuts smell like, and they smell amazing. But to me, they didn't actually smell amazing. It actually smelled quite horrible, like very sickly. And I couldn't actually wait to get away from the area because I really wasn't interested, and it was making me feel sick. So it really is amazing how everything changes.
Wow. So you've got less food noise. You're not craving as much anymore, but you still, it's good that you're giving yourself a bit of a treat, a couple of pieces of biscuit with tea. So now let's talk about weight, because I think that's important for a lot of people. And I think you dropped from what size to what size now? What was?
Yeah, so I was a size 24 pushing a 26 UK size. And last week I managed to put on a pair of skinny 18 jeans.
Wow. That's
so
amazing.
They went on. They've been my target clothing garment since I started this journey. I've been constantly trying to pull them on. And I managed to get them on last week. They're not comfortable yet, but they went on. Yeah. The button fastened. We all know that feeling.
Well, Charlene, I saw your before and after, and my jaw nearly dropped. I mean, honestly, people, if you guys, for those who are watching this live, if you have not seen Charlene's before and after, make sure you drop in the chat the word picture, and we'll send it to you for sure. Because when I saw that, I mean, gosh, your belly was so big, right? And now it's like half of it. You look amazing. I saw your recent photo. It's like, wow, you look amazing. And you probably feel amazing.
You do. So you do feel a difference.
Yeah. So how many pounds? So when you started and now, how many pounds have you lost so far?
So we're looking at. So it was 35 pounds up until last week, and I've lost 1.5 pounds. I weighed today, so it's 36.5 pounds.
36. So that's about 16 kilos, I think, in kilograms. That's very significant.
Yeah.
So that is. Mm-hmm.
So you were telling me about 2.5 stone.
2.5 stone. So you were telling me before that you didn't even bother to weigh yourself because the weighing scale can't even read. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So can you just tell our audience a little bit about the MindBody system?
So the MindBody system is 2 tablets and a shake. 2 tablets we take in the morning, 30 minutes before we have any food in our body. And the shake, it's pretty much open to how you would like to take it. Some people take it when they have their food in the morning, and that will do them throughout the course of the day. I'm not really big on food in the morning, so I take it in the evening. That is always when the food challenges would come in for me, is the evening. That would be when I would want to excess snack. So I would take it in the evening and have it either before my evening meal to ensure that I'm putting smaller portions onto my plate. Whereas now it's just habit. Once you do something repetitively often enough, then you start having smaller portions anyway. So it tastes great. It tastes absolutely amazing. I can't say too much about it, but I can tell you that it tastes phenomenal. I love the taste of it. Yeah, it's changing my life.
Wonderful. So I do take mine as a smoothie. I have it for lunch, and I mix it with protein powder, some frozen food, and some oats milk sometimes. So it's really yummy, and it fills me up through the day, which is really good. So for those of you who are watching, make sure you comment and share this, and for people to really be inspired by Charlene's story. She really is amazing. Imagine transforming her life, not only losing the inches and the weight, but also her mindset. So maybe you can tell us, in closing, what's your mindset like now that you feel better, you look better, and people notice?
Well, yeah, it's so up until this morning, I wasn't actually feeling that great because the emotions that we go through, it changes us. And a lot of people do suffer with things called body dysmorphia, where the person that you see in the mirror is not the person that you have in your head. But this morning, for the first time, when I took a picture of myself this morning, I actually saw a side of me that I recognise, which has made me feel really, really happy inside. And when you start to see that side of you, it changes everything. It changes your mindset, it changes your focus, it changes how you feel deep inside your heart. And let's not lie, because there's a big stigma around being overweight and talking about the emotions that comes with it. And when I decided to share my journey, I decided that I was going to share everything about it, the emotions, the way I feel about myself, the way I look. And that picture that I took this morning made me feel for the first time in 11 years that if I see myself in a mirror, I wouldn't hide away from it. It blows my mind. It really blows my mind that I am now happy with my reflection.
Wow. That is a big deal, right? Because self-esteem is so important, and you're not hiding behind or kids, or for to have your photo taken, etc. So is there
Yeah,
anything else you want to share with our audience? Is there anything else you want to share with our audience, Charlene?
I think that's all. Yeah.
Hmm. So I just want to say that results vary. Charlene's result may not be a result. It really depends on what you've been doing in the past, but know that it's not a quick fix, okay? Because it involves us changing some of our habits, like the way we eat, what we have in our fridge. We need to move our body as well, and a little bit of mindfulness. But what you'll notice is that you'll have a better gut. Gut health is so important. This product also have what they call neuroprotective, so it helps with your brain, it helps with your gut. It really helps to for you to be able to manage your weight. So Charlene, thank you so much for being here. Really
You're
appreciate you.
welcome.
So for those of us, those our audience there, make sure you like and share it, because other people may be inspired to follow Charlene's journey. All right, thanks
Thank you so much for
everybody.
having me, Josie.
Thank you.